When we think of Disney movies, we think of magical kingdoms, magnificent castles, prince and princesses, and well-deserved happy endings. But there are so many factors that go into making a Disney movie. One of them has to be a charismatic villain. Not all Disney villains are great, though. Some are scary enough to make little children cry. Who are those evildoers and what made them so unpopular with the kids? First up, we have Jafar. You can't talk about Aladdin without talking about Jafar. After all, he's one of the most popular villains in Disney after Maleficent and Scar. He's a sorcerer, although he's not a very powerful one like Moshenrath. At first, Jafar is shown to be just like any other Disney villain, not particularly terrifying, but pretty vain in a very comical way. He's introduced as a sinister royal vizier to Agrabah's sultan, who desires power over the kingdom. Initially, he doesn't have genuine magical powers. The only thing that comes close is his ability to use his snake staff to hypnotize others, particularly the sultan, convincing him to hand over his sapphire ring. He's also a master manipulator, as seen when he turns Hercules against Aladdin, resulting in a fight between the two. Perhaps the most terrifying moments in Aladdin were when Jafar gets a hold of the magic lamp and wishes to become a powerful sorcerer and starts breathing fire and levitating objects. And then he transforms into a giant cobra and finally wishes to become a genie. Jafar as a genie was absolutely terrifying and probably scarred every child who watched Aladdin. Yep, even more terrifying than King Ramses and Courage the Cowardly Dog. As a genie, he could manipulate reality and teleport himself. Other powers and abilities included breathing underwater, superhuman strength, telekinesis, summoning lightning bolts, superhuman endurance, shape-shifting, telekinesis, size alteration, object conjuring, projecting fire, creating water tornadoes, creating energy beams. This made him no doubt one of the most powerful villains in Disney history, but also the most hated, and of course, the scariest. Next, Mother Gothel, Tangled. Mother Gothel sure had her scary and creepy moments in Tangled. She might not be as bad as Jafar, but she definitely haunted many children's nightmares after her character was introduced. She kidnapped baby Rapunzel at the beginning of the movie and hid in the shadows, waiting to attack her. But let's not forget the terrifying scene at the end where she disintegrates to dust. Talk about dramatic. That probably made every child run or quickly switch off the TV. But what really made her terrifying and scary was the fact that she portrayed the epitome of a narcissistic mother who gaslights and abuses her children, quote unquote. Her abuse of Rapunzel is a reminder that such twisted people exist in real life as well. You can see the extent she goes to when she chops off her hair. Her impact on Rapunzel and the other characters is also portrayed in the movie's sequel, Tangled Ever After. And then we have Shan Yu, Mulan. Disney didn't even try to hide this character's atrocities. Shan Yu was the leader of the Huns in Mulan, who was manipulative, cold, and calculating, and known for being extremely cruel. He's one of the few Disney villains that does not get a song of his own. This adds allure to his mysterious character. Perhaps one of his most terrifying scenes in the movie was when Shan Yu, after destroying an entire village, finds the doll of a little girl. This shows him what kind of person he is and how destroying the lives of others really has no impact on him. But more than that, his appearance is also enough to give a child nightmares. We really don't know what Disney was thinking when they decided to give him black and yellow eyes and a costume that allowed him to appear out of the shadows in an ominous way. Yikes. Up next, Mordu. You knew we would mention this guy, didn't you? Mordu's appearance is so scary that we wouldn't be surprised if he was the antagonist in his own horror movie. He's not someone that can be easily reasoned with or spoken to, as seen when he chased Merida. And not only that, his story of how he became a bear is just terrifying. He was once a prince who was hungry for power, who out of hunger for power let a witch turn him into a bear. After he turned into a bear, he murdered his family in cold blood and soon loses his humanity, completely letting himself become a monster. Mordu is known for not having a conscience since he gave that up when he agreed to drink the witch's potion and become a bear. And here we thought bears were supposed to be fluffy and cute. Boy, were we wrong. Now we've got Lady Tremaine from Cinderella. Okay, alright, hear us out here. Lady Tremaine might not be the worst Disney villain out there, but her calm and cold demeanor is scary enough to make her make this list. She leaves no stone unturned to portray herself as an evil stepmother. She's known to do child abuse, neglect, physical and emotional abuse. She embodies it all. The scariest and most heartbreaking scene in Cinderella was when she stops Cinderella from going to the ball with them and allows her daughters to rip that poor girl's dress to smithereens. Not only was that scene horrifying and breathtaking, but it also was enough to make an adult cry. The worst part was when she stopped them, only because she didn't want to be too late. In the most intimidating manner, she told Cinderella, "Good night." Yikes. Talk about the original Ice Queen. And then we have Chernobog from Fantasia. Yikes on several bikes. What was Disney thinking when they decided to introduce a ghoul and a demon? Based on the god of the night in Slavic mythology, Chernobog is supposed to be the epitome of pure evil. But he's not like the Slavic beast from the mythologies. He's milder compared to the original demon. However, the movie did show him as a cruel, powerful creature that wouldn't stop until he got what he wanted. We first see this creature when he emerges from the peak of a mountain to summon all of his demonic minions as they dance around him before being thrown into the mountain's fiery pit. That's not a scene that anyone would be eager to watch, and has definitely stayed with us over the years. The worst part is the dramatic music that accompanies him whenever he shows up, which makes him look even more terrifying. Next up, we've got Maleficent in Sleeping Beauty. It was Angelina Jolie who made this villain popular, but the original Maleficent is just as terrifying. She's cruel, she's evil, and pretty petty. She yells and screams at her minions when she doesn't get her way, and once she doomed a child to death because she wasn't invited to her birthday party. Talk about petty. But did you know that when Angelina Jolie was preparing for the role of the villain, they had to cast her own daughter as a young Aurora because every other child actress was afraid of Jolie in the Maleficent costume? While that is adorable, we can't deny that Jolie just looked as scary as her cartoon counterpart. Talk about getting into character, right? Now we have The Horned King from The Black Cauldron. Honestly, despite being one of the most expensive movies of all time, The Black Cauldron could have done without the creepy design of its antagonist, the Horned King. He comes second after Mor'du when it comes to frightening appearances. His sharp teeth and skull-like appearance are enough to make anyone shudder and feel just uncomfortable. Moreover, the scene where he chases Taran is enough to make you anxious, especially due to the fact that they keep zooming into his creepy face. Up next, Claude Frollo, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. The Hunchback of Notre Dame is known for being one of Disney's mature movies, so technically it's not for kids, but it's aimed at preteens and tweens. But that's really probably just because of how terrifying Claude Frollo is. He murders Quasimodo's mother, attempts to assault Esmeralda, becomes obsessed with her, and abuses both his adopted child and the entire ethnic group of people. Not only was his character the epitome of evil and bizarre, but he also raised a few eyebrows, especially because of how creepy and strange his villain song was in the movie. The music was scary and the lyrics were suggestive, and it made one think, how is this even allowed in a Disney movie? Honestly, while watching the film, there were times when we even forgot it was supposed to be a Disney movie. Lastly, the evil queen, Snow White. The evil queen. Besides raisin chocolate chip cookies, she's one of the reasons we have trust issues. You probably, bought apples only to question whether they're poisonous or not. While apple seeds can contain cyanide, the poison the evil queen gave to Snow White was the one that led to a curse. The evil queen is already scary enough on her own as she spies on Snow White from her castle, but when she transforms into an old witch, we're curious as to how Snow White didn't just turn around and make a run for the exact opposite direction when she first saw her. Really just goes to show that looks can be deceiving, especially when it comes to hapless old women who are more persistent than a salesman trying to sell you an apple. And that's a wrap for this video. So who is your favorite villain out of this list? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.